We have a problem. We have a problem, football fans, soccer fans. This video is one that we wanted to be talking about the Croatia-Portugal match and how it went. And instead, we are talking about VAR. This has transformed this for everyone out there. Bear with us for this video because we're going to get into the nuances of what just happened in the Croatia match at the very end first. But what has happened, Rahi, with VAR? Because this has sparked the necessity for us to do this video right now.
This is sport. It's meant to be entertaining. It's meant to be emotional. It's not a science project. What VAR is doing is taking away the natural love and emotions that you have when watching a game. Every time you have to wait, check, go see the analytical replay, the snickometer, all this insane tech, and that is taking away from the joy of living moments and experiencing the sport as it should be, Sa.
Yeah, we've had some moments about red cards. Obviously, the U.S. just got one, soft one that just happened in the game yesterday. We're talking about penalties that are semi-soft and decisions like that. And now offside. Offside is probably the one where VAR has intervened the most. And it's just incredible. It's almost like the analysts that are handling the tech part of it have become as important as the commentators that are talking about the gameplay. It's unbelievable.
That's when you know you have a problem. That's when you know, when everybody, all the fans are watching multiple angles of some ridiculous offside decision. And here's the problem. The issue is players are reacting to situations in real speed, right? They are human beings reacting to what other human beings are doing. They are not operating in ultra slow motion, right? That's not how the game is played. So when you go back and watch these replays and look at things in ultra slow-mo, they look very different. But it's taking away from the spirit of the game. So what is the purpose of the offsides rule?
The purpose of the offside rule, okay, so offside, back in the day when football was invented, right, there was no offsides. And basically, like, that means you could stick a player right in the front, right,
Sure.
right above everyone else. And he could be on his own and cherry pick, as we call it. And then eventually, as the game evolved, they said, okay, this doesn't make sense because then you could just launch a long ball and the guy could be right next to the goalie and he could score. And so the purpose was it to make sure there wasn't an unfair advantage for players that would just camp out in the other team's box. And that was the point of offside initially.
100%. And now what's happened is when you are analyzing whether a player's shoulder, the width of his shoulder or the inch of his toe is ahead, that's not giving this player any advantage. It's the spirit of the rule is lost, and we're left looking at multiple angles of things to figure out if the toe is beyond the line. And to be frank, it's ruining what are supposed to be goal celebration moments. It's terrible as a fan to have to, every time something is a goal, to stop, wait for the replay, and then you hear the groans, you hear the reaction. The other thing is linesmen are not calling offsides on the field because they're comfortable for it going to VAR, which is also ruining that natural moment as well.
Exactly. Okay, so let's talk about what happened here in this match because I've seen a lot of chatter online and they're not really talking about the right things in terms of the nuances of this play. So I think you have the official rules in front of you and all that, but go ahead and explain the situation to people.
Yeah, there are two things at play here, right? So on the initial cross, right, Pasalic is not offsides on the initial cross. Not offsides.
Right.
Then the ball is played into the box. Matanovic jumps up for the header. It's to the naked eye, it doesn't look like he touched it, right? That's the camera angle. It's hard to see. Okay. On that touch, if he touches the ball, at that moment, Pasalic is offsides, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yes. So the first question is, did he touch the ball?
Right.
Okay. So, according to the tech that they have, the snickometer or whatever, I didn't see it, but if the snickometer says, fine, you want to, then the tech says he touched it. Okay.
Yeah.
So he touched it. But if that was the only question, they wouldn't have sent the referee to the monitor because that is the tech telling you that the guy touched it, the other guy's offside. What then would have happened is the VAR booth would have said, sir, it's offsides. Give the goal as offsides. Annul it. The game's over.
Correct.
But that's not what happened, right?
No, because there's a second thing that needs to be discussed. And go ahead, talk about that part.
Yeah. So then after that, the ball clearly hits the head or is headed, and that distinction is important, by the Portuguese defender.
Right.
Now, the rule states that if that is an intentional touch by the Portuguese defender,
right,
offsides resets, which means that at that point, Pasalic is not offsides if it's an intentional touch.
Right.
If it's an unintentional touch, then it's okay. We go back to that first header and say that Pasalic is offsides. I can actually read you the exact language if you want, but it's very gray, right? So what they sent the referee to the monitor to do was to determine whether that was an intentional touch or not.
Right. And here's the problem with that situation. One is the rule is very gray or whatever, that kind of thing, right?
100%.
And so the rule in itself is not well constructed. So people say, well, blame the rule and all this kind of stuff. But here's the problem, right? You want to read anything from there?
Yeah. So the rule says if the defender deliberately plays the ball, then it resets. Deliberately means, for example, tries to control it, pass it, clear it, even if they mishit it.
Right.
Now, if the defender merely deflects or rebounds the ball, for example, the ball glances off them without them having control or realistic opportunity to play it, then the guy's still offsides. How is the ref supposed to make that call?
It's no one who tells me that the ref can make that call properly, like, has any sense. And I'll tell you what, I watched this thing, Vega's header, about 15 times now. So if you look, his neck arcs a little bit down to be able to head that ball, right? It goes down a little bit. So are you saying, is that a deliberate move? In my mind, if you're bending a little bit to get that ball on your head, it is a deliberate move, right? But you could say, oh, it hits him and it's unintentional. Really? Because if it was unintentional, right, it seemed like he arced his head down a little bit, expecting the ball to come on his head.
Yeah, and I frankly, I can't tell you if it's deliberate or not. The referee shouldn't be asked to do that. That shouldn't be what was happening. The goal should have been given because it's impossible to tell if it's deliberate or not. How can you ask a referee to make that call? Which is what exactly the VAR said. They said, look, we know he touched the ball, the Croatian, Matanovic touched the ball. We know, we could tell by the sneakometer or whatever the tech is, but we don't know if it's intentional. Can you tell us, please? That's an incredibly difficult position for the referee to be in. He should never have been sent to the monitor. They should have said, look, we can't overturn the goal because we don't have no idea if it's deliberate or not. So it's a goal, right? Like, that's what should have been done. That's what happened on the field. That's the crazy thing about this decision, because people want to say it's tech, right? Oh, the tech said it was offsides. That's not true. It's tech plus judgment.
Exactly. That second part is very key, right? The second part is a very key component of this. And just like I was saying, like how I was giving you what was a ridiculous assessment of what was going on, looking at his neck movements and seeing all these kind of things and saying, was he expecting it? Was he trying to make a play? Was he not? Or did he not see it and he was just sitting there and his head was just sitting in that position at the exact time? I mean, it's so stupid and ludicrous to even try to think about these things. I'm sure Croatian fans are livid. I doubt Portuguese fans are super happy. Maybe you guys are, but realistically, if it was on the other side of things, I'm sure Portuguese fans would not have been happy about this situation.
Yeah. As a neutral, as a fan, I'm sure you just wanted to see 30 more minutes, right? It was an incredible ending, an incredible game. It was an incredible equalizer. Look, that's not what we want from the sport. That's not the emotional response we want as fans. It's here for entertainment. And that, to me, is the biggest failure, is the sport loss today, right? Yeah. And we can go to the red cards, Saab, because the same thing is about the red cards, right? If the referee on the field says, it looked fine, right? Like two players just collided. And then the VR is sending him, well, it looks like the guy stepped on his ankle. I mean, it's an impossible position for a referee to be in, because he's looking at, the guy stepped on his ankle. But sometimes people get injured in a sport that is full contact, and there's no intention, and there's no reckless endangerment, or there's no endangerment of a player. The minute a player steps on the field, they are in danger.
Yeah, it's just a mess. I mean, the whole thing's a mess. I want to hear from the fans out there, because we unfortunately don't have any solutions, but this has now come to the point where your team may be eliminated on some decision like this. And it sucks when you're on that side of things, right? It really does.
It really does, right? And especially after a penalty that you can argue that Portugal's soft penalty may be, right? And so if you're really, even if you're a Portuguese fan, you probably feel, I don't feel so good about winning that game that way.
Yeah.
And that's the emotional response of many fans. Look, I want to say one thing because I want to get to the red card because there's been a lot of talk about Messi and all that, but go ahead.
Go ahead. No. You can talk about the red card because I think that's an important distinction. What I was saying is one thing fans need to realize about this. I know that maybe Portuguese fans, you're on this side of the coin today. There'll always be a time where, as a fan, you'll be on the other side of that situation. Just remember that because this stuff affects all of us, and that's why I was saying this is not about Portugal. It's not about that situation. This is not Portugal's fault that the goal was disallowed, right? Like it was not. So I want to make sure that people understand that. But go ahead, you're talking about.
There's been a lot of talk after Balo's red card, Florian Balogun's red card yesterday, that there's been images shared of Messi stomping on the calf accidentally as well of an Algerian player, and that he wasn't sent off, he wasn't yellow carded. And the comparison has been drawn. And I think it's a fair comparison. But the takeaway is very important. The takeaway shouldn't be that Messi got off the hook. The takeaway should be that the decision to not send Messi off was absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Just like the decision to not send Balo, that should have been the decision because ultimately you would have ruined a wonderful game and a player who deserved to be on the field in Messi because he didn't go in with any intent. The player wasn't hurt. There was nothing bad. The same with Balogun, right? The player was injured, but you're taking away. Here's the best way to put it, Saad. If you're coaching Balo or Messi in that scenario, you tell them, hey, next time don't go into that. You can't. You still would tell them you have to sometimes go into 50-50 balls.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I want to say, refs. This card exists too. There is this color of card that is out there. And I just want to make sure that all these people understand that you can, if you're unsure of something, you can give this color card if it looks kind of bad. And VAR can say to the ref, hey, call these matches a little bit tighter if you want to. Start issuing some yellow cards. Maybe then you see this. Then a super reckless thing that they make a decision on. I don't know. Like maybe there's some kind of judgment that needs to be involved with that.
Don't ruin the game.
Yeah.
These are incredible athletes, incredible players with incredible skill. Don't take these special moments away from them with silly calls that are actually ruining games. Don't send someone off for a 50-50 ball.
Yeah.
This is ruining in not just teams tournaments, fans tournaments, but also individuals tournaments.
Yeah. Yeah, it's we've been here on, just want to end with this. We've been fans of football for over 30 years. And this might have been one of, if not the worst call that I've ever seen in 30 years of football.
The collective.
The Croatia decision.
Oh, yeah. It's not even so much that it's the worst call for me. It's just the worst refereeing sort of experience as a fan, to have a ref control a game in that way, right? To have a game end on a disallowed goal when it was a last-minute equalizer that had everybody jumping off their seats, right? That, to me, is such a lame, sad way when you look at the decision and say, well, it's not even clear.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. So fans out there, let us know your thoughts on this. I'm sure everyone will have a lot of thoughts on it. Commiserations to Croatian fans for having to be on the side of this. Hopefully, this changes some things. I don't know if it will, but hopefully it does. And, Portuguese fans out there, hopefully something like this doesn't happen to you all. So that's that. And keep watching the beautiful game. Let's try to keep the game beautiful. Keep the game beautiful. Have VAR stay out of it unless they need to.